All right, everyone, welcome to Data Decision, a home of dashboard creation using either Excel or Power BI. So right here, we have healthcare dashboard built inside Microsoft Excel, and I have the Power BI version as well, which is going to be this one right in here. This is the light version, and I can switch to the dark version. That looks just like what you have just seen inside Microsoft Excel. So what about this? Very beautiful, right? Before we come back here, let us take a look at what exactly we're going to be looking at to have this created. Okay, so over here we have this particular text right here, whereby you have to download it alongside with the resources files that you're going to be downloading. So it says build a Power BI healthcare dashboard using the data set shared to you. You can actually use either Excel or Power BI. That's exactly what we have done. We have used both of them. And those are what we actually have to show as a KPI, and the extra visuals we just need to create. And it's exactly what you can see right in here right now. Let us look at what is similar to what we have inside Microsoft Excel. Over here we have PM, which means all the visuals here will be expressed in PM, and we can switch back to AM right in here. Beautiful, right? So over here now, you can see this chart shows value right in here. If I switch to percentage, this particular chart will be expressed in percentage. This is how beautiful this could look like. From admission to discharged, then every single thing here gets to some kind of updated automatically. Then we can switch to any quarter of our choice. And this is exactly what you need to know how to create. Okay. Let us look at the Excel version. From the Excel version, we can switch between PM to AM, and the whole chart gets updated automatically. Can you see how beautiful that is? Now, from percentage to value, and every single thing right here gets to shift. Then from discharge to admission, and we have the charts being updated automatically. This is exactly what we are going to be building together in this particular class. But we are not going to be focusing on the Excel version right now. We're going to be focusing on the Power BI aspect right in here. If you want to watch the Excel version, check out the playlist. I'm going to actually create a video about it ASAP. So how about that? Let us get into the class. All right. The very first thing we have to do is to grab our data. Click over here. Now here is blank. If your file is blank, don't worry. Don't panic. I'm going to show you how to get the data. So go over here and click on this particular part. Then click on all files. Now you have your data here. Go ahead and click on open. Let us click on transform data here. Now we have our data set right in here. So go ahead and turn this one into like patients. You can just call it patient data or just patients, whatever you want to call it. So once we have done this right now, we can go ahead to view, then turn on column quality to take a look at the quality of every single column right here. So what you're expecting is to see 100%. And even though if it is not 100%, there should be a reason why that particular column is not 100%. So it's not always compulsory that every single column must be 100%, right? If we have blank or errors, it might not be 100% any longer. Okay, let us change this one to time. Remove the event and just time. So where our major work is on this particular time right in here. So make sure it is on time formatting, like the data type should be on time. All right. So if it's not on time, it's not going to work. So what we need to do right now is to make sure we click over here and take a look at numbers of time that we have. Lots of time here. This is crazy. So which means we cannot use this on a visual. It will be very, very bad if we use this on a visual. So what do? We have to summarize this and have them grouped. And to get that done, let me show you something. Make sure you go over to add column. From add column, click on custom column here. So let us name this one rounding time. Okay, over here now, we're going to use this particular M code I just pasted right in here right now. So make sure you copy every single thing I've actually, you can see right on the screen. If you copy it and it does not work for you, just go to the comment section and type in just type in M code. I'm going to actually send you the M code to your inbox. It's just as easy as that. But you can type it out and it's going to work 100%. If it doesn't, go to the comment section and type in just M code. I'm going to share it with you. Okay, once you're done, go ahead and click on this particular OK right here. And now, here we go. This is what we have. So now what do we do? Let us go over to this particular part here. It's on text. Now change to time. If we have it changed to time, this is what we have. Can you see what we have just done now? We call this rounding time. We rounded this particular time, which means we don't want this particular, 3, 4 here. This 7 should be rounded into 8. Can you see now? Let me show you what I'm talking about. So this is actually 3:34. Automatically, we rounded it to 4 p.m. This is 7:54. Rounded to what? To 8. And 12 here is still 12 because this particular one here is just 0.2. So it cannot be rounded. If you understand your, mathematics, your elementary school, you understand how rounding works. Okay. Now we have some couple of errors. How do we deal with these particular errors? The very first thing you have to do, go to home, go to keep rows and keep errors. So with our keep errors, we can actually investigate what is having error. Is everything that is having error here is under 11, right? This is where you have to speak to the owner of the data or your boss to know what you can actually do about this. But what we can do right now is that we are rounding every single thing, which means it's very easy for we to actually control this without even reaching out to our boss. Remove the keep errors. Over here, right click and go over to replace errors. So once we are here, what do we need to do? So, no, we don't have to do that. Remove this. Now, what we can do right now, I think it's going to be replace error, replace, not remove, replace errors. Here's it. So you're going to have this particular box here. So for every single errors we have right here, they all fall under 11, 10, 11, 05, 11, 06, depends. So we want to round it to just 11. So what do we do? 11, 00, 11, 00, like this. Then now it's actually on PM. So if you check it right now, this one is on PM, this one is on PM, which means majority of them are on PM. We just actually make sure we round them to PM. So what do? We type in here PM. Then once I click on OK, it will replace the errors for me. That is beautiful. We have just done this. But is that all? Not yet. Okay. The next thing we have to do right now is for we to get off all the zeros we have right in here. 0 should be gone. This 0 should be gone. What we want to have right now is actually this particular, 4 we have right in here and the PM or AM attached to it at the right-hand corner. So how do we get that done? It's simple. This time around, we have to make sure this column is highlighted. Go to add column and choose column from example. So make sure you select this particular one that says from selection. That will actually respect the selection we have made before this time. Okay, so now what do we need to do? Over here, let us name this one to time 2. Just to differentiate it from this particular one. Once you've done that now, you just type in here 4. Then you're going to put your PM. This should be 8 PM. So once you hit your enter key, it's going to actually look up at all of these and just feel like, okay, I know what you mean. Let me get this done for you. But is this an ideal? When you actually have this without a space, is that okay? So we need to actually add a space to it. So what do? We come back here and we type in again 4 space, then PM. Then this is going to be 8. 8 is PM as well, PM. Now it has picked this again, and this is beautiful. Let us go ahead and click on OK here. So now we have something that looks like this. This is what we wanted. So if I actually open it up right now, it starts from 1 AM. If we keep going down, you can see the time we have right now is very short, and we can actually deal with this. The next thing now is for we to extract this particular PM and AM right from here. So how do we easily do that? So go over to home. From home, you're going to actually click on, okay, let us go to add column. From add column now, we're going to extract the last two characters, right? So just put 2 over here and hit your enter key. Now it's going to create a different column for us that actually extracted all the PM and AMs from here. So right now we're going to name this one to be what? To be, I'm thinking, moment. Okay, there is no point in keeping this particular one and this one again because we are not going to use either of them. But wait a minute, what if we just get this one off and go over to remove and have this removed? Then this one might be useful. Then we can actually keep this one right here. As for this particular one, there is need to actually use it. So over here now, we can name this one to be event time here. So while this one will become just time without 2 on it. So can you see what we have done right now? This is exactly what you can do to have your data transformed. The remaining one will be done inside, Power BI, how we can actually start visualizing this. And it looks cool though. So what we can do right now is to go over to home, from home, close and apply. Now, as you can see, we have our data set right in here. If I go over to this particular part right now, so you can see we have the same view we actually have inside Power Query. So every single columns and rows are some kind of accurate right in here. So it is time for me to start analyzing our data, which means writing DAX function. Okay, wait a minute. We need actually a date table. So how are we going to do that? So go over to this particular part here and insert a new table to create your calendar or your date table. A very simple one. We don't need something complicated, right? So what we can do right now is to quickly go ahead and do this. So call this calendar. So equals So as you can see right here, we have the complete code for our, calendar. So if you have been watching my videos before now, you would have known that this is something very easy because I have taught this over and over again before now. So it's something very easy that anybody can actually create. So this gives us, a control over how we show, time, like the weekday, the month, the quarter, and even the year. So this is exactly what it is. So just go ahead and copy the same exact thing from here. The next thing we have to do right now is to make sure we click over here where it says mark as date table. Then go ahead and turn this one on. Then grab this particular date. So validated successfully. Go ahead and save this. So once you have done that right now, most importantly, go over to month name and go over to this particular sort and sort by month. The month is the month number for us. The next thing is for you to highlight this particular week here. So with the week highlighted, just go over to this particular sort again and sort by WN, which is week number. That is all. So go over to this particular model view, and while you're here, then make sure you bring in the date you want to connect to this particular, calendar, which is this particular event date to my date in my calendar table. Can you see it now? So go ahead and click on OK. So we have many-to-one relationships. So now everything is ready. It is time for you to start writing DAX and getting things done with ease. So how about this? If you want to learn about Microsoft Excel and Power BI, I have a course that covers all that. And if you want to learn about human resources, dashboard, analysis, HR, analysis, I have a course that covers it as well. So you're going to see every single course I have on the comment section or in the description box. So how about that? Let's get back into the class. It is time for you to start writing DAX, which means we have to start creating the KPI cards we really need in this particular course. So to get that done now, we can come over here and right click and go over to this particular new measure, then create a new measure to actually help you create your KPI. So the first measure we want to actually create right now is something very simple, which means we want to count how many patients data do we have, like how many patients do we really have. It's easy. So just call this one total patients equals. So using the count rows here, the count rows will actually do that for us. So what is the functionality of the count rows? When using the count rows, you must make sure that you're not actually dealing with, duplicate values, because this one now will count how many rows, are existing inside our patient data right in here. So if you want to account for duplicate values, then you can use distinct count, which means you just want to take off the duplicate values and count only the unique values. But right now, we just go with this particular patient here. This is our table. Go ahead and close and hit your enter key. So we have just created our first, measure for our first KPI. So all we have to do now is to bring it in. So this is what we actually have right in here. Can you see it now? Let me stretch it out for you to see. Okay, with this now, the next thing we have to calculate is actually going to be the total patients year to date. We have to calculate the total patients year to date. It's easy. Let me show you how. Right click over here and now go to new measure. So here we have a measure called total patients year to date, YTD. So to get that done right now, we have to go ahead and change the filter context by using the calculate function. With the calculate function, we already have a measure called total, patients. With this now, we have a function, and the function is called count rows. No, sorry, it's called dates YTD. So this one here. So what is this looking for? This is looking for a date. So what do? We bring in here from our calendar, we slot in this very one here. So go ahead and close and have this closed, shift enter, then close this. This will definitely calculate our year to date for us. It's somehow simple, right? So once we are done now, we can push this one into here. And there you go. You have something that looks like this. Right now, they have the same exact number. That was because we're not actually interacting with this using slicer or visual, filter, whatever. Okay. The next thing we have to do right now is to actually calculate something different, which is going to be the bed occupancy percentage. So let us go ahead and right click, then click on new measure. To get this done now, let us use the divide function here. So equals. So with the divide function, we can still use the same total patients here, comma. Then over here now, we're going to use this particular, I'm thinking of something. I think there is something we need to understand before we do this. Let's go ahead and cut this away from here. So let us go back to our main data here. So over here, you have bed occupied. Can you see it now? Bed occupied. This is the column we need to actually calculate the bed occupancy percentage, right? So we have done that now. We can get back in here, right click again, and go ahead and create a new measure. So now what we have done here is to just type in the measure name, then divide this particular total patients by the count rows. No, sorry, this is not proper. We're going to be doing this, take off this particular one first. So let us do the sum of bed occupied. You divide that by the total patients we have right in here. That is all you need to do. So you can leave a comment for you to understand this if you come back to it again, or for anybody who is going to actually look at our back end to understand this. So leave a comment to say this one is actually total occupied bed or beds. So this is exactly what it is. So we have just calculated this very one right now. So the next thing now, we are dealing with health data. We have to do average length of stay of every single patient, right? So let's see, drag this one into our card again. So we have a new arrival right in here. Okay, then this one should be formatted into percentage. Go over to this particular part and have it formatted. If we have to calculate our length of stay, we have to go back to this particular same place again and try to check, do we have it? Yes, of course, we do have length of stay right in here. So we want to calculate our average from this particular length of stay. So how do we do it? Let's go back here, right click again, and go ahead and create new measure. So we can just use the average function here over what? Over the length of stay. This is how simple this one could actually look like. Can you see it now? So the next thing now is for me to go ahead and drag this into this particular card here. So let us take a look at it. So it might not appear very well for you to see, but it's working. If you have actually followed me step by step, you would have seen how this looks. Don't just watch like a movie. You just have to make sure you get your hands dirty as well. Try to type and make some, mistakes, have some errors, fix it and all of that. From that, you're going to learn a lot. Okay, this is what we actually have. We have all those regular KPIs created for us right now. If you look at this, there is one practice I used to do that I did not do right in here. And the question is this, what is that? I always organized all my measures inside a particular table and in folders. But right now, all our measures are being passed into this particular patient table right here. So it's not healthy. Let's create a table for it. So go over to home and click on enter data right here. So just add DAX to this and load this. So I have done this. I willingly did this because I want to show you something. So right now, how do we move all our DAX from here into our new table called table DAX? It's simple. So if I click on a particular, column from this particular table here, you can see it shows us name. This is the department. Then data type is text. There is no way for we to move this. But the moment you click on a particular measure, we have something different over here. Now we have name, which is bed occupancy, percentage, and over here it gives us home table, which means where we have the measure, being created into is the patient's table right in here. So now if we want to move it, we can click over here and we can click on this particular one here. That particular occupancy percentage has been moved. Can you see now? So you have to be doing this manually, like one after the other. But if you have to do it, with a speed, just go over to this particular model view. Open up this one and this one. Then from here now, hold the control key to select all the measures you want to move. Control key. So we have selected all the measures. So exclude this one because this one is already inside here. So we have selected all the measures we want to move from what? From the patients here. So just go ahead and drag. And once you're on the table DAX, just release it once you have this particular dotted line surrounding the table. So everything will be moved just at once. Let's get back in here again. Now, if you look at it right now, we have everything right in here. How about this? Interesting, right? We need two different measures to be created right now. Let's get into here and go to our data set. Let's select this very part here, which is going to be, what is that? What is that? Okay. So here now we have admission and discharge. So event type here. So we want to create a measure for admission and discharge. This is something very simple. You don't even have to watch this. You can just go ahead and create it all by yourself. But if you feel like you can do it, let me help you do it. So right now, right click over here and create a new measure. So do this once and copy and paste and just make one single change, and that is all. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to call this one admission or total. Then over here, we're going to use equals. So with our equal sign, we just want to use calculate function here. So total patients, comma. So where event type here is equals admission. So you want to make sure it's 100% correct, the spelling. So once you are done and you're very much satisfied that everything is good, go ahead and copy this. We have to bring this into a separate card. So not added to this particular one here. Now here we go. We have this. So drop it down here Now let us go ahead and right click again. Now create for the discharged. So for this particular one now, we don't have to write it from this scratch. We just have to paste in this one. And instead of admission, Control Shift and L, we do discharge. So make sure it is correct. It's very important. Okay, the spelling here, check it very well. Otherwise, you're going to have blank. So go ahead and actually bring this in again. So 100% correct. Okay, if you look at it right now, if you actually go ahead and add everything you have right in here, so it's going to be equals to what is actually, showing up right at this particular spot here. Okay, now we have gotten this done. The reason why we have done this is because we want to actually create one single measure again that combines this particular two together so that we can actually switch between them and update our charts. How about this? Let's get it. You know the drill already. Go over to modeling, and from there, you already know. So go to new parameter, then go to field here. So right away, we just have to make sure we actually leave it as parameter, but no, we just have to change the name right here. Let us call this particular name change measure. Okay, so right here we go over to this particular DAX and we bring in this very one here, then bring in this one right in here. But right here, we don't want to have the total. How do we get it off? It's easy. Double click over here and now remove this. Remove this. So here we go. We can just go ahead and click on create. If you want to learn about Microsoft Excel and Power BI in one single course, I have a particular course that covers everything you need to know. And if you want to learn about human resources, which is HR analytics, I also have a course that covers everything you need to know. So check out the comment section or the description box. So you're welcome. Let's get back to class. So here we go. We have something like this. For the time being, I'm just going to keep it anywhere around here, right? So it's not going to function right now because we have not integrated this into anything. So it is time for me to create our first chart. I'm going to create a heat map. And this one will make us to understand this charge, like what time in a particular week and stuff like that. So go ahead and click on this particular matrix here. Oh, sorry. Back to slicer. You just have to deselect before you click on matrix table. So here we go. We have to make it bigger. So for the time being, it's going to be this particular size. So what do we need first of all? So on the row level, we want to bring in our week. That is it. Now, on the column level here, we want to go into our patients and we look for this particular time over here and drag it into column level here. Okay, can you see it now? A lot of information as well, but it's going to make sense a little once we actually do the needful. So the next thing we have to do right now is to bring in this particular one from here, which is the combined measures. Just drag it and add it to this particular value area here. Now you have a couple of numbers, right? So check what happens if I switch. The numbers, will definitely change. The next thing I'm going to do right now is to go over to the patients and drag in here the moment we added, which is this one here as a slicer. So choose a slicer, this very one for the time being. Now we can decide to select AM or PM and our report will be, accordingly. So this is exactly what I wanted. So I'm going to force people to actually click on just one single one from here later. But for now, let us leave it as this. So we need to do just a little cleaning right here by going over straight up to this and now and the row subtotal. This is exactly what we really want to have. So for now, we don't want to actually touch this for now. We just have to keep it right in here and focus on something else. Now let us create a chart that shows us the trend of discharge and admission. So we just go ahead and take up this particular line chart here. So bring it down here and just go ahead and resize it. Can you see it now? So once you have done this now, the next thing you have to do is to bring in month from here. That is the month name right here. So with the month name is cool, but we just have to go over to this particular part and drag in this into the y-axis. So now we have something like this. Okay, that means this is not going to make a lot of sense if we drag this in here, because we have to be changing this one after the other. But what we want to see, the kind of analysis we want to see, or the kind of view we want to see, is something different from this one. So what do? We go ahead and actually have this particular value here removed, which is this very one. So what do instead? We go down to here and bring in discharge into it, and as well bring in admission into it. Now this is exactly what we want to have, and beautiful, we have it. But the color is not really cool, but don't worry about it. I'm going to change it later in no time. Let us look at our admission or discharged by department and diagnosis. How about that? Let's quickly go ahead and create this particular clustered bar chart right in here. So once we have done that, we can actually resize it to fit into this particular environment here. Then the very first thing you have to do is to go over to this particular part, search for department. Then drag a department into this particular one here. Beautiful, right? So if I go ahead and take this off and I drag this one into here right now, so I'm not going to see nothing because it's going to move it to the wrong part, right? This is the reason why you need to understand what is x-axis and what is y-axis. Right now, we want to bring in x-axis, so we can actually drag it from here and have it right into here. Then we have this displayed. So whenever we actually make any changes here, it affects the visuals, which is this particular visual we have right in here. So forget about the transformation, the colors and formatting of the dashboard or the visuals. Let's just go ahead and copy this one and paste it down. Oh no, sorry for that. That is not what I wanted to do. So click over this chart here, Ctrl+C, Ctrl+V to paste it down and drag it here. And now what you need to do is just to go over to here and click over this particular part here and search for diagnosis. Then you replace it with diagnosis. So this has been replaced for you successfully, and we are almost at the far end of this before we start, formatting our charts and making our dashboard look beautiful.